What's up YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to share with you a simple beginner-friendly project to help you understand how to deploy a web application to AWS. As you can look at the screen, we are using one public subnet within a VPC and we're only using one instance. And in this instance, we're going to have a web server, which is EngineX. We're going to run the web application using WordPress, and this application server will be using Apache. And the database that we're using will be MariaDB. Let's begin. Let's start an instance. We call this my first web app, and we're gonna use the Ubuntu with a default AMI, and we're gonna use the free tier instance type. We're gonna skip using SSH keys. I'm gonna show you why later, and we're gonna use existing security group. This security group is already open to the public so that we can accept all traffic from anywhere. And this is where we leverage on the SSM. This will allow us to SSH in using session manager instead of keys. And I already have the bash script created. So basically what this bash script do is it will install the Apache web server. Then after that, it will listen for port 3000. We have a MariaDB MariaDB database, and we're gonna install the WordPress application. And if everything goes well, we should have this up and running. Okay, let me do a last minute check. Let's ensure is enabled. Public subnet is enabled. There's only one subnet. Okay, and let's launch this. So right now the instance is being launched. While we are waiting, we're gonna use the public subnet, public IP address, and we're gonna go to Route 53, assign the DNS, the domain name, to the IP address. Okay, so let's take a look. Is it up and running? Okay, the login screen is up. It should be running. Let's connect. Great. Let's make this bash interactive. See what we have here. The database are still installing. So while this is up, let's install some net tools. We want to make sure the ports are up and running. Things looks fine. Let's see what we have. Okay, the port 3000 is up. Let's make sure everything is up before we open the browser. Okay, great. So let's see what we have. Oops, I forgot about the port. Great. So right now our WordPress web application is up. Let's make sure it's working. Okay. Login screen. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see what's the WordPress login screen. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Everything looks fine. So right now, this is a WordPress web application, and if you allow your web application to face directly to the internet, it's not such a good idea. It's not the best approach. So what we can do here is, I'm going to install an EngineX, which is a web server that will take on the incoming traffic and hide the port number 3000. Let me start with this. While this is installed, I've already readied the configuration, and we're gonna make sure that we are at the right directory. Let's paste this. Let's move this to the right directory. Need sudo command. Let's restart this. We should be able to see port 80 running. Okay, it doesn't work. Let's use another browser. Great, there we have it. Let's make sure that we can see let's be more details, and let's see where they can track which let's skip that. Okay, great. Let's see why it's redirecting. Okay, if you experience this has something to do with the web application. So we're gonna make some changes to the domain name, to the IP address in the web application. We're gonna config this. Then after that, we're gonna make sure it registers inside. Okay, we need to go to the correct directory and run again. I'm gonna copy this command, and I'm gonna restart the Apache web server. And let's see whether we still have the redirect for port 3000. Okay, great. So as you can see, there's a reverse proxy that's acting as a web server that's taking all the incoming traffic, and our web application port 3000 is hidden from the public eye. That's okay, good. But this is not practical in the sense that we don't take on the public IP address. We're gonna assign it a domain name. So previously I've assigned this to the public IP address. Let's see whether it still works. It doesn't work. Why? Because EngineX that I've configured doesn't take in the domain name. Let's make some changes here. Let's restart EngineX. Great. Now let's see whether this thing works. This thing works. It doesn't work. Let's try. Interesting. Okay, great. It works right now. The web application is running on domain name, but it's not good enough yet because it's right now running with HTTP. You should always run your website with HTTPS. And the good thing about this is we can use Certbot to download the certificate and also ensure that it renews annually. I've already prepared the script for it. So all we have to do is install this. And run this. SSL 123.click. Let's run. Let's remove this because it's only for testing purposes. And it should download the certs required. It's taking longer than usual. Okay, great. Just to make sure it's there. The certs are there just to make sure. Certbot updated the configuration. Great. Let's see whether this will turn into HTTPS. Okay, great. So as you can see, this is the most simplest way to understand how AWS works, and you can deploy it using WordPress MariaDB. I hope you find this video useful, and if you have any questions or comments, just leave in the description below and I'll try my best to get back to you. Take care. See you next time.